All right, well, good evening. Welcome to our Parent and Student Information Night. We are very excited to have you joining us this evening. In addition to all of you that have joined via Zoom, we also are broadcasting live via Facebook. So we're on Facebook Live as well. And to our Facebook viewers, welcome as well. As we are going through this evening's presentation, please feel free to use the chat function within either platform, and we will respond to those questions as we get through the presentation portion of this evening. So I just want to take you through a little bit of the event for this evening. It's going to flow a little bit differently than previous events. We're going to start with a virtual tour of the Lang building, which is where our early college, high school, and P-TECH program is going to be housed here at Hudson Valley Community College. And then we're going to go into a Q&A so that we can answer any questions that parents and prospective students may have about the program. And then we will go into more of a presentation similar to previous presentations for those of you that are joining us for the first time this evening. So before we get started, I want to quick launch a poll, and it's going to be asking you about your participation this evening. So there's two questions to the poll. Are you joining us tonight for the first time, or have you attended previously? And then the second question is, have you applied yet? Application already submitted, application in progress, or undecided about applying? If you could take a moment to answer those questions. For those of you that are joining on Facebook Live, the questions that we're asking are just simply, have you participated in a previous parent-student information session, and what is your application status? So we're going to end polling there, and I am going to share results. You can see, as you can see from the screen, many of you joining us this evening, almost 80%, are joining us for your very first parent-student information session, and pretty good mix of have you applied yet? Application already submitted, leading the way, followed closely by undecided about applying. So hopefully through this evening's presentation, we will answer your questions and get you to that point of decided to apply. All right, so let me stop sharing those results. All right, so let me launch our video. All right, as we watch the video, this is just a quick video tour of Hudson Valley Community College, and specifically the Lang building where our program will be housed, hosted by none other than our very own Kim Sparkman.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you here with us today. I am standing at the entrance of Lang Hall at Hudson Valley Community College. This will be the site of the P-TECH and early college high school programs, Questar 3 BOCES' newest offerings. We're here to give you a tour, but please forgive our appearance. This building is still under construction, but there is still a lot of great things to see. Let's take a look inside. The first stop on our tour is going to be the future site of where the storage units will be for students enrolled in our programs. As students get off the bus, they'll come through our main doors. And on the right here will be storage where students can put their personal belongings before they go to class. Upstairs, we have 6 instructional classrooms that have all been recently renovated. Within them, they have instructor consoles, interactive whiteboards, and projectors already set up. Let's take a look inside one of the classrooms to see what it looks like. Welcome to class. Let's take a look at what we have. First, every classroom is equipped with a climate control center so that the students are always comfortable within the classroom. We also have brand new interactive whiteboards that are connected to the projector so students can easily see the instruction from their seats. At our instructor's desk, we have a brand new Elmo along with a computer which is built into the desk. So the instructor has all the tools needed to provide those lessons. This classroom really is a blank slate, ready for a teacher to come and make their mark. Our classroom is currently set up for the standards of social distancing. However, since we don't know what the future holds, these desks are easy to move and manipulate to work for the space as instruction is needed. However, we always follow the protocols of COVID-19 to keep our students and staff safe. To access the second floor, there are two options. First, we have the main stairs, but we also have an elevator system so that all students can access the second floor. Where I'm standing right now is the future site of a collaboration space where students can come together. There'll be whiteboards on the walls. There'll be alternative seating where students can sit and discuss the lessons and work on projects far outside of the classroom walls. In this office, we will have a full-time school counselor. That person will help our students navigate the requirements they need to fulfill their graduation requirements. In addition to that, we will have a school social worker. This person will provide social and emotional support to our students. And finally, we will have a mentorship coordinator here. This person connects our students to our industry partners and facilitates the mentorship program throughout the years. From here, we're going to head back downstairs, and I need you to use your imagination because this section is still under renovation, and our vision will be realized this summer as we work with Hudson Valley and their contractors to develop the space of our dreams. Downstairs, on the right side of the hall, we'll have a completely refinished cafeteria. We will have lunches provided by school district, or students can opt to bring their own lunch. I'm standing in what will be our science lab. This lab will provide a space for our earth science and living environment students to complete their labs. After that point, our students will take their science classes throughout the campus in their college courses. But for the first 2 years, they'll be using our lab space right here in Lang Hall. I'm standing in what will be the crown jewel of our programs. This is the future space for our makerspace. In this location, we will have robotics, we will have a virtual reality stations, and we'll have 3D printers. Students can use this space to tinker with materials, explore the uses of technology, and teachers can sign it out as they develop projects. In addition to the makerspace, we also have a computer lab. Students are all issued a laptop computer when they enter into our programs, and they can use this space to do research and collaborate on projects. Finally, this space will be used for our mentorship program. One huge component of our program is student mentorships with our industry partners. They will meet regularly with their mentors in these spaces. Being located on a college campus doesn't mean that we have to compromise on security. Students will be issued a Hudson Valley key fob. This will be their gateway to entering our building. Lang Hall is located right by the student quad, which gives teachers and students an opportunity to bring class outside on nice days. School districts will be providing students with busing to get to our programs. The buses arrive on campus and they drop our students off right at the door. When students have their driver's license, they will have the option to drive to campus. They'll be issued a Hudson Valley Student ID parking pass, and they'll be able to park in the student parking lots right by the building.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sparkman.
My pleasure.
All right, what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to start off with some introductions. So let me pull up my screen here. All right. So my name is Anthony Taby. I am the Chief Academic Officer here at Questar 3 BOCES. And I am going to turn it over to Miss Kimberly Sparkman. So let me stop my share so you can actually see people as they're sharing.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kim Sparkman. I'm the Career and Tech Ed Coordinator at Questar 3 BOCES, and I've been working closely with Anthony and the rest of the steering committee as we have been in the planning process of these programs.
All right, and I would like to introduce Deborah Shoemaker.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Deb Shoemaker. I'm the Associate Dean of Community and Educational Partnerships and work very closely with both Mr. Taby and Mrs. Sparkman on the steering committee. And we're excited to host this program on our campus starting in the fall. So welcome.
All right, and finally, I see that Lauren Gemmel is here to join us. Dr. Gemmel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Gemmel, the Deputy Superintendent from Capital Region BOCES, and we're just excited to be able to partner with Questar and open up the opportunity for this P-TECH program to all the Capital Region BOCES component districts as well. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the PowerPoint presentation. As we are going through the PowerPoint, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we will either respond to them as we're going through the presentation, or at the end of the presentation, we will respond to all the questions that have been posted. We'll also use some of our frequently asked questions section of our website to help guide some of the discussion at the conclusion of the presentation. All right, we already finished our introductions. So, and as Dr. Gemmel mentioned, the program is available and open to students across all 7 counties and 46 school districts. That combines both Capital Region BOCES and Questar 3 BOCES. We are very excited about the partnership of our Capital Region BOCES neighbors and working to really create a phenomenal program located here at Hudson Valley Community College. So some of you that are joining us this evening are joining us for the first time, and I want to give you a little bit of background as to what are P-TECH and early college high schools. They are programs that allow colleges and universities to partner with public school districts and BOCES. They work to fill workforce development skill gaps. Students who are participating in the programs earn college credits while completing their high school diploma, and it puts students on a fast track to a college degree while saving their families thousands of dollars in tuition costs. So as we've mentioned, the program is located here at Hudson Valley Community College. We have our own building on the campus, and if you look at the image at the bottom left of the screen, you can see the building that my cursor might be pointed at, but it's highlighted in yellow, and that is the Lang building. So it's right next to the parking garage, and also located next to the Haas Center, which is the Center for Advanced Manufacturing. So, and as we demonstrated in the video, the location is in close proximity to the periphery of the campus. So easy in, easy out for buses to arrive to our campus. And it also permits us the flexibility to have the separation that we want in the early years for students who are coming in as 9th and 10th graders, but the integration and the access that we want as students continue in the program through their junior, senior years and beyond. So students will start coursework as early as 9th grade. They'll be taking what is called a Pathways course, and it's a college forum class, and that will help them take a look at all the different career pathways and all of the criteria or the characteristics that are going to be necessary of a student to be successful at the college level. So going over things like note-taking, organizational skills, things like that, really making sure that we set them up for success. The P-TECH program is a up to 6-year program. I think it's important that we emphasize it's up to 6 years, and students culminate in that program with a AAS degree in one of 3 pathways, which we'll talk about in a minute, and earn up to 63 college credits. The early college high school program is a 4-year program, more similar to a traditional high school. And that program is minimum 24 credits up to a maximum of 60 college credits. So the focus of these programs, I want to talk a little bit about this, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail. So the P-TECH program, there are 3 pathways in the P-TECH program. All the pathways that we identified are designed to fill urgent workforce needs within the STEM fields. And all of them, as we'll talk about a little bit later, are in very fast growing industry fields with great job demand. So we're really working to make sure that there is alignment between the pathways that we've identified and future employment for our graduates. So the P-TECH pathways include computer information systems with a focus on web development, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, engineering technology, focused on civil engineering and architecture, and environmental science and protection technology with a focus on clean energy management. The early college high school pathways include health sciences, which could include things like respiratory therapy, radiologic technology, and dental hygiene. And then also computer information systems, which is the same as the P-TECH pathway. And through the application and interview process, we will help students identify which of those 2 pathways, early college or P-TECH, is the best fit for them. So as I mentioned earlier, forecasted job growth is a big factor when we were identifying pathways for our program. And through our work with our steering committee, we identified the 4 pathways that we just explained. The first one is web development, and there's an expected 20% change in the number of jobs by 2028. In civil engineering technology, there's an expected growth of 18% by 2026. In environmental service or technology, there's a 17% change by 2026. And health science professions like respiratory therapy, dental hygiene, and radiologic technology are set to grow anywhere between 22 and 30% by 2028. So you can see by this slide that there is a lot of opportunity for employment and a lot of opportunity for job growth within these areas. So key benefits of both programs. The students can earn between 24 and 63 college credits at no cost to families. It combines the best elements of high school, college, and work-based learning. It's a rigorous, relevant, and cost-free education focused on the knowledge and skills students need for careers in STEM. We'll have a strong project-based learning focus, worksite visits and workplace learning, along with internships, speakers. One of the advantages of being located on the Hudson Valley Community College campus is the access that we have to both speakers and professors that can come to the Lang building here and present and speak to our students. Our students will have access to all the academic, social planning, and other supports that are provided to all HVCC students. And then one of the other advantages is the individualized academic support that's provided by K-12 faculty and also our college faculty. So early on, and you saw it in a little bit in the video, but early on in the 9th and 10th grade year, the college courses that are taught as part of the program will be taught right here at the Lang building. And in the later years, as students enter 11th and 12th grade and beyond, then they will be sitting in college classes. But in the early years, everything that they do will happen here in the Lang building.
So one of the key parts of This program is obviously coming together and collaborating, and all of our students are coming from different districts spread against 7 counties, so it can be a little intimidating. So we are creating the Summer Bridge Institute. This is going to be a time for students to have some time over the summer to get to know each other, to get to know the campus, and to be looking at some projects and some industry connections that we'll have during this time. The dates on here are not completely finalized. Once students are selected into the program and we have this more finalized, you will get all of the information you need for Summer Bridge. And there's always a remote option available. So if you're away one week or if you're not quite comfortable coming back in person, we can work around that. But the idea is that you come together, you meet the students that will be your classmates, and you have that opportunity to get to know each other before classes start. We will have time to tour the campus and to, of course, tour Lang building. We'll have scavenger hunts and different games we can play on campus to get to know each other. And then 1 week will be devoted to industry experiences, where we'll come here and then we'll leave and go out on field trips to visit some of our industry partners and get a tour of where their work sites are and get to do some hands-on projects with them. And then we can jumpstart some of our college coursework in the last portion of August so that you're ready to go in September when it all begins.
So similarities. So we're going to talk a little bit about the different similarities that exist between the two programs. We've talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm not going to read them all, but I just want to focus on a couple. Again, really important to emphasize is no cost to families. The availability of to students from all of our local districts. Our supportive industry partners. And I don't know if Cheryl Kennedy is on this evening, but Tech Valley Center of Gravity is a key partner in this program. And they've been great partners. They're part of our steering committee, and we really work very closely with them. The programs and the pathways are all aligned to HVCC's AAS degree programs. Also, the articulation agreements that exist with more than 50 colleges for students to transfer to if they want to continue their education after they complete the program here. We emphasized it a little bit earlier, but the workplace visits, internships, and those mentorship experiences are really important to both programs. We want to make sure that students see immediate relevance between the coursework that they're participating in and how it's going to be applied in an industry or a career setting. So key differences, again, the biggest is the first one, 6-year versus 4-year. P-TECH can be completed in fewer than 6 years, and many across the state do finish P-TECH programs in less than 6 years. So it really is up to the individual and making sure that we can get you into the appropriate coursework so that you can finish your degree before you enter your 6th year or during your 6th year. Students in the P-TECH program are assigned an industry mentor. While it's not a requirement of early college high school, that is a key factor of our program, and we will make sure that that is embedded within our program as well. Early college high school is a 4-year curriculum, and up to, typo on here, it's up to 60 college credits.
So as you're thinking, is this the right program for me? I'll talk a little bit about who our students will be. We're looking for students who want to try something different, someone who wants to have a high school experience unlike what they may have seen in the past or heard about in the past. Someone who's interested in coming in and really collaborating with their classmates. A lot of the way that we teach is this project-based learning philosophy, where students are continuously creating projects that connect to the content. We'll have a lot of cross-curricular instruction where our English teacher and our history teacher might do a project together. So if that's something that appeals to you, this is a great program for you. Since it's so aligned with the industry pathways that Mr. Tavy spoke about, it would be very helpful if that's a career path that you're interested in. A lot of the projects that I just spoke about will connect to those pathways. So if you have an interest in computers or engineering or environmental studies or the health sciences, this is a great way to get started, a great way to see if you love it and if this is really what you want to spend your life doing. Collaboration is key. So much of what we do is working together and building a tight-knit, close community where we can come and learn together. So if that's something that sounds like, yeah, that's how I envisioned my high school career, this could be a great program and a great opportunity for you. We just ask that you come in motivated and open-minded and allow us to work together to really have a positive experience. So how to apply. This has been open for a while now. In fact, tomorrow is where we're starting to review all of those applications and really building out our class lists. So I know in the beginning poll, many of you weren't decided yet. If after tonight you are interested and you think that, all right, I think I want to apply to this, let your school counselor know so that they're ready, because they're going to play a part in this process. Our application is all online, so the link will be up in the chat and you can go right in and fill it out. But a portion of it is going to be asking for a reference for you, both from a teacher and from a school counselor. So in the application, you'll add the teacher's email and the counselor's email. Then we on our end handle actually emailing them out with their own reference page. We'll handle all that, but you have to supply that initial email. That's why it's so important that you just let your counselor know, yeah, you know, I'm going to apply to this. So you have those recommendations ready. Once you complete the online application, you'll receive an email confirmation from us, and then we can start to work with your counselor and your school district as we build out those class lists and get everything set for next September. And then our students will be notified next week. It's coming right up. I think our timeline is the next slide. So a lot of what we just said, that's tomorrow. So, so after tonight, ask everything. Any question you can think of in your head, type it out, say it out. We're here to clear all information out so that you can make the best decision for yourself, because high school is so important and you want to have that good experience. We're offering an opportunity that might be really good for some students, but not what other students had in mind, and that's okay. So tonight, use this form to ask everything. Apply tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be reaching out to your schools and starting that process. After that, we will be scheduling interviews. It's really more of a conversation. Don't let that trip you up. It's a time for us to talk individually with every student who will be coming to us next year to learn about what you're like, what your interests are, because we're building this. We are designing the clubs that we'll offer. So we need to know what you're into so we can start to develop that. We're also building out our master schedule. So we need to know what classes you're in right now, so we're ready to program for you. So that interview really helps us to get to know you and for you to ask any further questions you might have. And then from there, letters go out and we start talking about Summer Bridge. So there's our website up on the screen, and in the chat is a direct link to the application. So after our question and answer session, if you're like, yep, I'm ready for this, then click right in there and get started. It takes a little bit of time. There is a quick short answer section that you need to think about a little bit, but it's not daunting by any means.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Sparkman. Before we get into the questions, I want to launch another poll here. So we talked a little bit about the pathway preferences, and I have here which of the 4 pathways is of greatest interest to you. So if you could take a moment to take a look at those 4 pathways and let us know which is the pathway that is of greatest interest to you. All right, responses are coming in. We have a couple more minutes.
Cool. It's pretty well spread out. Wow.
Nice distribution of interest pathways, so that's great. All right, I am going to end polling here. I'm going to share the results quickly. And I do want to talk about the not quite sure yet for a second here, because I think that's important. And we recognize that that making the decision as to the career pathway that you're going to be pursuing, through much of your high school years and beyond is a daunting task. And what we wanted to do is through our work with Hudson Valley Community College and with our steering committee, we really worked to make sure that there was close alignment in the early years between the pathways. So in the 9th grade year, all of the coursework is going to be very much the same. So if you're an undecided which pathway you want to seek in that first year, that's okay. We're going to provide you exposure and experience to all of the different pathways. And even if you have a pathway that you think that is exactly what you want to do, you may change your mind as part of the different the college forum class, or the different speakers, the different events that we embed within the program, and that's okay too. As students progress on to their 10th grade year, there will start to be a little bit of separation, but still with the flexibility that if a student says, after that 10th grade year, I thought I wanted to go into engineering technology, but I really decided that I want to focus on health sciences, that's something that we can work through. And we can work with a student to make sure that they're able to transition. It really is, once you get to that 11th grade year and beyond, that they really start to branch off and go into separate directions a little bit with the coursework that you're going to be participating in. And we want to make sure that we keep you on that fast track to all those credits. So as you get into their 11th grade year and beyond, we really want to try to minimize that movement between pathways. All right, I do have one final poll before we're going to go into the Q&A, and I see the questions that are starting to populate there. Just for our reference, just share with us, what county is your home district? All right. All right, so good to see. And again, this is our, I'm not sure, Mrs. Sparkman, if it's our 5th or 6th parent-student information session, but the distribution is similar to previous events as far as the what districts are coming to our parent-student information sessions. We really hope to have representation from all of our counties. I think that'd be great, and as many districts as possible. All right. So we have some questions that are starting to populate in the chat, and let's start to go through them.
So will the interviews be before the students are admitted or after? So it's a strange timeline because we're coming right up on the time where we need to have our class list together. So the interviews are not the be all end all of who is accepted. So don't think of it as that sort of an interview. Think of it as a conversation, an opportunity for us to learn more about you and you learn more about us. When you submit your application by tomorrow, we start working with your school districts right away. And we reach out to counselors and we reach out to superintendents just to get a handle on the students that we can bring into our programs. Then we start reaching out to you to schedule interviews. So it will be over the course of the next 2 weeks that we get to meet with each student, but we will already likely have our class list together. It just gives an opportunity for you to be able to talk to us, ask us individual questions, and we can get a handle on specific program needs that you might have.
All right, next question in the chat is, how easy is it to get into the school? It is a capped cohort model, so we will have a maximum of 70 students who enroll in the program in the fall. And then in addition to that, we have districts that are participating, and they have their own caps on the number of applicants that they're going to send to P-TECH. So we're going to be working with each of our districts once we get the applications in from all of the programs. And our goal is really to get to that 70 target. One of the things I would say is that, is it an easy school to get into? I think that we want to focus more on, is it the right school? We want to work with each individual applicant to make sure you're interviewing us as much as we're talking to you. You're asking questions, you and your family are asking questions of us and the program to make sure that this is the right fit. We want to make sure that each of the students who attend P-TECH and Early College High School at Hudson Valley are successful and are completers of our program. So I don't know if that directly answers your question, but we hope to make it as easy as possible, but it is still a challenging and rigorous program once you get here.
That connects with the question asking, will grades have a factor on entry? This has been a weird year, and we've seen it. We've seen students who have always been traditionally very good at school, and then this year threw a lot of students for a loop, and maybe you didn't have the most successful 8th grade year because you were partially virtual, partially in person. It was hard. So we take that into consideration when we see your transcripts. So it's not the final result of who gets in, but this is a rigorous program in that you'll be taking college classes in 9th grade. You'll be taking many college classes by 11th and 12th grade. We wouldn't want to set a student up for failure. So if you have motivation, if you have determination, and if you're willing to work hard, those are indicators of success, not necessarily how this year has been going for you.
Okay. Next question in the chat is, does the district lottery mean just one student per district is selected? And the answer to that is no. We have districts that are committed to sending multiple students, and in some cases it may be 1 or 2 students. So it really is dependent upon the individual district, and as we're going through the process, we'll make sure that you're very clear on that as well.
Interesting question next that we haven't had yet. Is there a process for students who are scheduled to enter 8th grade to test into this program early? So this person must be a 7th grader right now, going into 8th grade, maybe in advanced classes already, and thinking, could I start 9th grade early?
So let's talk, and please reach out to us individually and we can work through that with you. It is something we'd have to work with the district on as well.
That's an interesting one that we haven't hit yet. So for that sort of a need, then it's best to reach out to us and we'll see what we can do. A person asks, how do we find out where your application is? I have them all stored up, online, but don't worry, I have your applications and they're there, and there's a record of when you submitted it and everything that's complete about it. And we are reviewing them because the application deadline is tomorrow. Once the deadline kind of closes, then we reach out to our districts and start building them. But they've been under review, and we've learned a lot about you guys through these applications. And now we're ready to have that personal conversation with each of you.
All right. So Mr. Flores put the application portal link in the chat again, along with both Kim and myself's contact info. And that kind of connects to one of the questions a little bit further out. Will you be able to share this information via email so that I can share it with my husband? We're also happy to meet with you individually. So if you weren't able to join together tonight and you want to speak to us individually, please reach out via our email, and we will coordinate to have an individual Zoom session with you so we can go over and answer any specific questions that you may have.
We have 2 questions that came in specifically about the application. The first one asked this, if they made a mistake of their application and they'd like to fix it. Just email me exactly what happened. I can go in and we can fix it together. So don't worry, I can work with you on that. Email me, my email is in the chat. Next one is saying that they're nervous because the deadline is tomorrow and their counselor isn't aware of it. The deadline for them to submit their reference is not tomorrow. We'll collect that from them next week and don't worry about that. You work on submitting your application, and I'll reach out to your school counselor if I don't have their reference by the end of next week.
So a couple other questions that they're not in the chat yet, but I'm just thinking of earlier sessions that we've had. So the program, and we talked a little bit about it, but the program is a full day program that's going to be located right here at Hudson Valley Community College. Students will, I'm actually upstairs in room 205, but students will get on a bus and come here in the morning. They will be here all day, and then at the end of their school day, they will go home. We'll go back to district. So, you know, one of the questions that is constantly comes up is what about extracurricular activities that are at the home district? It is our intent to make sure that those options and opportunities are still available to you within your home districts. So if that's something that you are wondering about, we are really working to make sure that you could get back in time for after school activities or athletics. In addition to those activities that we're going to have ourselves here, as far as different clubs that Mrs. Sparkman has mentioned. So it really will come down to the coordination of the transportation in order to make that happen. But it is our intent to make that possible.
A question on tests. A person states that they are not a good test taker, and if they fail a test, will that affect their grade? So a couple different angles here. First, we are really trying to push the project-based learning model where more of our tests are replaced with projects where students are demonstrating their skills in building something or creating something that shows that they've learned the content. But we are going to have Regents exams that students still take here, and individual teachers might still give tests. So there will still be tests. A teacher has they're going to be developing their own grading model. But I would say that for a student who knows they're not a very good test taker, let's tackle that together. Let's work together with the school counselor and work with your teachers and try to understand what triggers you about test taking. If you're nervous about the test, what are some strategies you can use to overcome that with us? Because that's something that is going to affect you in college. So let's work on that together so that we're helping you to get comfortable with demonstrating your knowledge and finding those strategies to stay calm during a test, because we've all been there, and that's a life skill that is something we would love to work with you on.
Yeah, just to echo that, definitely something I can tell you that I'm adverse to test taking as well. And it is something that you're going to have to tackle, and we can work together with you on that. It's also one of the beauties of project-based learning, because it's a not the traditional way of measuring what you know about a particular topic and how you're able to apply it. So you're demonstrating your learning in a little bit of a different way, which is helping you to build confidence about you being able to demonstrate what you've learned through the project, throughout the project within your particular content areas. So in a way, it's helping you to eventually transition and get away from that test taking anxiety to be able to be comfortable. You'll be able to demonstrate in a different way that you are capable. You know exactly what is happening there, and you're able to apply what you've learned to a project, which is infinitely more difficult than answering a question on a test. So we'll get you there.
We have a question saying, when is the last day that I can hand in my application? So tomorrow is the deadline. What happens tomorrow is we go through and we download every application and we sort it by district, and we start reaching out to counselors and superintendents, and we build out our class lists. If a student applies after that deadline, that is taken into consideration. If there's a wait list, then they will be on the wait list. If there is an open slot, then we will consider them for a slot in this program. It really all depends on if the program is filled or not.
Yeah, just to echo what Mrs. Sparkman said, the deadline is tomorrow, and that is a soft deadline. And the reason it's a soft deadline is because in order for all applicants to have an equal footing as far as the slots for the program, that is tomorrow. If you apply after tomorrow, there is still the possibility you could get in, but it would be as a as a waitlisted student applicant, not as an equal footing applicant along with every other applicant who's applying for the program.
Okay. Thinking about from previous sessions that we've had, I mentioned Regents Exams, so it's important to highlight that we are a high school. So you will have all the course requirements for a high school graduation, and that includes Regents Exams, where we'll be offering all the classes necessary for an advanced Regents diploma as well. So those options are all there. We do have students coming in with several different language sequences. So we're working with some companies to help us to provide that language requirement for multiple different needs for our students. So that's information on Regents Exams and the Advanced Regents Diploma. Oh, that's a fun question. What happens if a child is accepted and the family moves to another participating district? Do they have to reapply? We would work directly with that district of which you're moving into and explain the situation to them. You were accepted with one district, maybe we already have your schedule all set up or whatever the situation is, and we will work with that district to see if they will honor that placement. It does ultimately fall on the decision made by that new district that you're moving into, but we would encourage them and make it as easily as possible for them to make that decision. It also helps if they're already a current participating district for sure.
So next question is, if you do not get picked in the lottery, will you be able to get on the wait list? Absolutely. That's what will happen after the lottery is those that are not picked for the slots for a specific district for the program will be placed on a lottery list, or I'm sorry, not a lottery, a wait list.
It shouldn't have asked you for a letter of recommendation. I'm sorry, the question is saying, when a person applied, it asked them for a letter of recommendation. What it asks you in the application is for an email address and a name of someone who can write a recommendation on your behalf. When you do that, an automatic email gets sent to that email address you supplied to us. Either it's a counselor and a teacher, and they fill out almost like a survey about you, saying, your leadership skills, your motivation, whatever. And they get the option to upload a letter of recommendation for you, or they can just type a paragraph right in that survey about you. But you shouldn't have been asked for a letter of recommendation. If you were, email me and we can find out what application you were in.
So next question is, can 10th graders start the program and still graduate on time? So we primarily, the primary focus of the program for admittance into the program is for 9th grade students. That being said, we have been working with students, individual students who maybe are current 9th graders. And as Mrs. Sparkman mentioned, maybe the 9th grade year was atypical because of the pandemic. And we would work with you individually. We want to make sure that we can identify a pathway for you to move forward in the program and still graduate on time, complete all the necessary coursework, and not be behind when it comes to a completion standpoint. So what I would say to that is please reach out to us individually so we can go over your particular situation. Every individual student is a little bit different as far as their course sequence and what they've already taken. So let's talk together and figure out what you need and make sure that we can define a pathway forward for you. All right, I think we are caught up on questions.
Anything from Facebook, Brian, that we need to know about? Sorry.
I think Brian has been copying over the questions from Facebook and putting them in.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great.
I think we're in good shape. All right, if there are no further questions, usually when I'm saying that, a couple more pop in. But again, I would just want to emphasize both Mrs. Sparkman and myself, please reach out. We are happy to speak to you individually, answer any questions that you may have. and talk through the program with you and make sure that it is a good fit for each individual student. So please reach out. We thank you so much for your participation this evening, and we hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Oh, a student. I see a student.
I saw a couple of students that had already applied.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian, I just got your email and I will email you back right now with that answer.
Oh,
Not you, sorry, other Brian. Brian, someone who's applying. Sorry.
So can we, since it's a little bit of time left, can we just ask you a couple of questions? Would that be okay? Or-
Yeah, I do know, so Schenectady, I know all about you guys. What's up? How you doing? So I saw your email regarding the letter of recommendation, and I have been working with, are you still there? Oh, yes. Hi. Oh, is
Hi.
it in person? Hi. So I have been working with Schenectady. They submitted a letter of recommendation for your son, just based on, I guess, meeting him recently. And I said, honestly, that's fine. And if you guys have anybody in the community that would like to do one as well, if you send me their email, I can send that generic link. And I know that you had reached out to say, should you guys submit one? You can. Never hurts to hear parents review kind thoughts about their son, but also you've been teaching him. So, I'm sure not biased at all. Feel free.
We just wanted to know if that, that would be flagged, if you saw that and you say, this is the mother, this is not the teacher. So, okay.
The assistant superintendent of Schenectady reached out to me right away and said, so what do you want to do here? And I'm like, oh, cool. First of all, good for you all to go homeschool to college campus. Yes. That's awesome. And we talked it through, and they said that they would be interviewing your son and talking and getting to know him a little bit. So we're totally comfortable with it, and it's absolutely fine.
Okay, good. Thank you. You answered you answered my question.
No, I think go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to, I don't know. Hi, Dustin. I think all three of you have actually applied already. So hi, everyone. You'll all be classmates one day, hopefully.
hi. What are those school hours again?
So we're still ironing that out, but we're looking at about 8:15 to 2:15, give or take, based on transportation for each district.
Kim, would it be okay to drive them, or did they have to take the bus?
No, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. I guess.
Okay, just
Yep.
wondering.
Yep, and we can work with you on, an easy way to drop them off on the route so that you're not bogged down with traffic. That's why we're doing an 8:15 start, because 8 o'clock is like rush hour here. And then at 8:05, it's a lot easier because people are parked in their classes. So we can work together to find a good spot for you to pull through. And I'll be right there at the door to receive all the students. So of course.
So, oh, sorry. So, is the deadline today? Because you said the deadline was today and then it got changed.
Oh, tomorrow.
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 Yeah.
Tomorrow. Okay.
We know we already have your application. So now it's just by tomorrow we can start.
Oh no, I just came because of the open house. I wanted to see more information.
Isn't that pretty? This could be one of the
Yeah.
classrooms. It looks really nice right now because the sun is setting, but yeah.
A lot better than last week when it was snowing during our virtual open house. So.
Right. Yep. Any other questions we can answer for you?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, then we'll be in touch real soon next week, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Should we sign up?
All right.
See you in a minute.